Prepare to be captivated by the business story of the week, hosted by me, Shaheen Shan. Join us on a journey through the twists and turns of entrepreneurial triumphs and setbacks. Immerse yourself in the narrative and witness the magic that turns dreams into reality. This is Business Story of the Week. All right, welcome to another episode of Business Story of the Week. Today we have Coach Sonia Zarbatany. She's the powerhouse behind Coach Sonia. She's based in Montreal. She's an internationally recognized speaker, life coach, business coach, personal branding expert, and corporate consultant. She has a track record of building and scaling multiple businesses to over 8 figures. She's an expert in branding and personal strategy, something that we talk about a lot here, and building long-term wealth. As a true impact-driven leader, Sonia's mission is to activate potential in individuals and businesses worldwide. She has a 360-degree approach to coaching, and she tackles everything: mindset, body, relationships, business, leading to transformative results for her clients. So join her, follow her on Instagram. I think last I checked, she has almost 170,000 followers on Instagram, which is no small feat. Sonia, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm super happy to be here.
Amazing. So we're going to get right into it. So tell us first a little bit about your story and what brings you to where you are now and who you are.
All right, let's do this quickly and then let's give so much value. So I'm raised in the fashion industry. My father was the president of Guess Jeans. We were in fashion distribution. So from the age of 9, I was, I made the best coffee, did the best filing, and I really learned the business from the ground up. So we started distributing brands from Guess Jeans, XOXO, and then I became president of Vince Camuto in Canada, and I started distributing brands across the US and Canada, from Europe, from Italy, and I was really raised into that industry until at the age of 23, I decided, hold on a second, is this really what I want? Is this what I really want to do? And I moved to LA. I wrote my last exam, moved to LA, and I was like, what do I actually want? I was scouted to do a movie and, to be in a show. And I was like, this isn't it. But what really was it? And so I got into personal development through Landmark at the age of 23, before coaching was a thing. And I started speaking on, I was like, this is it. This is the game. Like my business head was so there, and we've grown so many big businesses, but the key was the mindset piece. And once I got into this, I got completely addicted to it, went all the way from NLP to, deep coaching, from relationships to then business, and then now personal branding. And what's phenomenal is now, I'm back in Montreal. I speak all over the world. I have an amazing platform in the French audience, so France, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, and then in the American stages as well. So I'm all about impact. I'm all about serving my community, and I am a mom of 2, a stepmom of 3, and that's what I do. That's who I am.
So what would you say is the difference in attitude between people that are French Canadian and people that are American? I mean, obviously you have clients in all corners of the world, but what do you think the difference is in mindset between that culture and American culture?
So my French audience, it's so interesting because I just received a Forbes, the Forbes of this month, and I have my full feature as the #1 coach in the French audience. And this is after a year of really tackling in the French audience. My French audience it's really women are still in such limiting beliefs of, speaking about money and speaking about, whereas the American audience, like women, we're there. We're okay speaking about money. We're okay with generating money. We're all about impact, and but my French audience is really like, still in the limiting beliefs and in the beliefs of like, well, can I really do that? Can I really play big? Or, will I be stopped from what people think? And so I'm so into my audience of, really showing by leading by example that us women can be phenomenal moms, and we can have a beautiful business and impact so many through values, and also, just grow our business and be unbelievably financially successful as well.
So tell me what came to lead you to your first financial success. I know that's I mean, just being a mom alone is a huge accomplishment. And I see it. I see it with my wife. I see it with my mom that raising boys or raising kids in general is no joke. Like that is a major achievement if to do it correctly. But doing that and also being a coach, being a business strategist, creating multiple eight-figure businesses. Tell us about what led you to your first success, your first $1 million.
Okay. Well, my first was quite a long time ago, and it was definitely in the fashion industry. To me, I really understood the growth of a brand. So it was really, through obviously Guess Jeans, we opened up the first stores in Canada. We grew the first retail stores in Canada, but then also with Vince Camuto, I was in New York every single week. I had my first child, and then I had my second child, and I was bringing in the baby nurse with me to New York, to Fashion Week, to Market Week, to bring. And I remember, like, I had just had my baby, and my baby was literally like 4 weeks old, and I had the baby nurse, and I'd fly into New York, and I would have the nurse in the showroom in her own room, and I would have to stop the meeting with Nordstrom or Macy's or whoever I was dealing with, the Bay, and I would have to go pump in the back, or go and see my baby and then come back in. And I remember I was very, very on social media as well back then, and I was like, I just want to be the person that shows women that we can do this. It's not going to be easy. I'm not the girl that's going to tell you it's going to be it's going to be hard, but it's going to be so worth it. And if that's really what you're passionate about, and if that's really what you want out of your definition of success for you, like, it can be done. So I really wanted to be the woman that was not only going to show the next generation of women that we can be on stages with, surrounded by all these men, and we can also do that as a mom, and we can do this, in our way. So that was really the big focus for me, which was, millions is at one point, it's like, it's just the next level. You know what I mean? Like, you do your first launch, make 100,000. The next time it's $1 million launch, then it's $1 million month. It's strategy, systems. I'm big into systems. My business, my life, my personal life is completely planned from A to Z. I am the master of delegation, and I stay in my X factor at all times. I know exactly what I do extremely well, and everything else gets delegated.
So let's talk about that. So you now are also coaching people. People can hire you to coach them, to consult with them, to build strategy, to build brand. Tell us what systems you use so that people can become more like you and be this
So
person who does everything.
So I do not coach one-on-ones, except a certain very high level that will make six figures in their launch, seven figure in their launches. So those are the only clients I do. I don't do one-on-ones. And then in terms of systems, it's what's beautiful about it is, one is I really help people build their personal brand, because if you're a coach, a speaker, or selling something online, the importance of personal branding is game changer. Like, you have to be the guy or the girl or the expert there. What that does is then you're no longer having to push leads out. People come to you. Like, I get asked to speak all over the world. I don't even have an agent. People just contacted me directly because they hear, they see. I keep giving so much value on socials. It's a completely free platform, and it's a platform that, if you haven't built your personal brand this year, make that be a goal, because that really takes your business to a whole nother level. So the personal branding is the one thing. Then you go into launch strategy. So I help my clients build massive online launches. So I go from the strategy of the launch, their offers, the messaging, the ad strategy, and then I have a sales team that just like runs them through their whole sales process. So it really is a science to it. There's a system to it. But once you get the system, it's phenomenal, because you have your audience, and then you're able to just keep giving them value and sell whatever services or programs that you know that your target audience needs.
Yeah, and I've noticed too, on your website, on your Instagram, you keep everything very much so on brand and on message. You seem to like you don't divert an inch. Like every piece of content that you put out, every post, everything looks a certain way and feels a certain way, and the message coming out of it is all this lifestyle, this brand that you've created.
Well, let me give you a tip, okay? So I've been doing social marketing and since literally the beginning, and I started it with my fashion brands, right? So I would build, even if you don't have a personal brand, let's say you're selling an actual product or fashion or whatever, the brand needs to have an essence. People follow people, they don't follow brands. So, for example, with whether it's Sanctuary Clothing or Vince Camuto, it was like, who is she? Who is she? Where does she eat? Where does she shop? What's her lifestyle? So build your brand, even if it's a product brand, like if it was a her or a he. So you're bringing in your audience, your target audience needs to resonate with you. So your values have to be so clear that your pieces of content just resonates with your target audience. And the other thing is invest in your brand. Like you cannot be a coach that's, coaching at a whatever, 10,000, whatever your price points are. If you're a high ticket and you're $100,000 plus coach, you need to look like you are. And the person needs to be able to see themselves with you and right away through your content go, I'm super aligned with this. Like not only is she phenomenal and she's a master at it, but I also resonate with her values as who she is as a person. So that's why personal branding is actually so important in order to have like the full marketing strategy.
Yeah, it's like how you tell that story. God, I forget what that film was. There's this like, I think it was like this rom com in the '90s where is it Matthew McConaughey and he's like this dating coach, and the guy he's coaching is wearing New Balances, and he's trying to like get a date, and he's talking to him, and he's like, "Are you freaking Steve Jobs?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Then I don't ever want to see you wearing those shoes again." I thought that's such a funny scene because it's so true. Like I was just watching this documentary now about this guy SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, and there's a bunch of these like Silicon Valley guys who like have made billions, right? And they're all like slovenly. They're like out of shape. They wearing like this clothes that's like ill-fitted, and they just don't look good, right? So I thought, well, look, if you hit a unicorn and made a couple $1 billion, maybe you can afford to be that foolish. But in general, the first thing people look at you in this new form of media, which you've obviously mastered, is your appearance, how you look. Like, what's the energy, what's the vibe you're bringing out into the world? And if you look slovenly, if you look out of shape, if your clothes are disheveled, if your hair's all messed up, assuming that's not what your brand's all about, like people just aren't going to take you seriously because there's so many other people that are bringing their A game. And so that's kind of what I'm hearing you say is that like whatever you do, you have to bring that excellence to it.
And I feel like, to me as a coach, it's like, it's not just like being a master in one category. Yeah, making money. I do this shit in my sleep. Like this is a system. Like for me to take a business and to scale a bit, like this is not the hard stuff. It's a system. It's pretty easy. But now it's like, okay, well, what's the system in my body? What's the system in my morning routine? How am I excellent as a mom? Like I actually think that the thing that I do the best is I mom the best because I've created my definition of how I wanted to mom, and my kids travel with me. They come on stages with me. Like it's my definition. So if you are really, really good in one category in your life, it's like I'm a 360-degree approach. It's not just like, yeah, you can make tons of money. Cool. But are you happy in your relationship? Does your wife and husband still want to be with you? Are you spending time at home? Because you see, the thing is, it's simple to scale a business. I could just sit here and just keep working. But I love the fact that my phone is on complete off and I'm so dialed in with you and I can be really, really focused on you. And then I can move on to the next task and know that everything's systemized. It's delegated. I'm excellent at that. And I want to make sure that I'm a good friend, I'm a good mom, I get my workouts in, I feel great because the better I feel, the more I'm present, the better energy I can give my audience. And that's what people resonate with. They're like, there's something about that person. And it attracts people. So the happier you are and the more fulfilled you are and aligned in your own life, the more you're just going to attract the right people. And you're going to scare off a lot of people because you're going at another level, but your people they'll come to you and they'll be like, I want her on my podcast. I want her on my stages. I want to, build with her. She's good people. So to me, it's so much more than a just look good for people's sake. Like, look good for your sake. Like, why don't you be the best version of yourself? That to me is like, that's amazing.
Yeah. Love that. All right. So we're going to leave them with that. Guys, if you want to learn more or engage with Sonia, how do people find you? Do you have a book? How can people learn more about you, get coached by you? I know you don't do one-on-ones, but if they have a company or they want to hire you to speak, how can people find you?
So a great way is definitely Instagram. To me, that's my number one platform. I'm also launching the show, which was coming up as well. The book's ready. It's going to be out this year as well. And then, just through my website as well, coachsonia.com. That's the best ways.
Oh, that's really easy. All right, guys. So make sure you get her on coachsonia.com. Again, today's show is brought to you by the Podcast Cola Network. Podcast Cola, make sure you check us out. Make sure you check Sonia out at Sonia Zarbatany on Instagram or coachsonia.com. Sonia, thank you for being on the show. Hang on just one sec.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so here's the thing. We try to get a little bit better every day, but we can't do it without you. So if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe below. And if you have any comments, just leave them in the space under.